Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters. Democratic presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg was in Providence today to publicize his first endorsement from a governor, Gina Raimondo.
And right after the event, Eyewitness News politics editor Ted Nesi was the only local television reporter to speak one-on-one with the former New York City mayor.
I want to unite this country, so I'm trying to go to every state so far. I think this is the 25th state. We've been to 60 cities.
Ted, welcome. And this has already been a big week for Bloomberg. Of course, a lot of pundits suggesting he might be able to capitalize on all of the commotion in the Iowa caucus, right?
Yeah, Shannon, Mike, I mean, what's important to understand with Bloomberg is he's running a very unorthodox strategy, skipping the key early states like Iowa while spending huge amounts from his own fortune trying to win the later contests. And he tells me his confidence is growing.
A global leader in the fight against climate change.
Democratic presidential hopeful Mike Bloomberg in Rhode Island Wednesday, securing his first endorsement from any governor in the country.
Mike Bloomberg is everything President Trump isn't.
Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo making it official, saying she sees Bloomberg as her party's best hope and praising his policies on climate change and gun control.
For me, it's an easy decision.
I spoke with Raimondo and Bloomberg after the event.
Mike's a friend. He has an unbelievable track record of delivering.
The 77-year-old billionaire argues other Democratic candidates don't have their eye on the ball.
I'm running against Donald Trump. They're running against each other. And my polls are going up and their polls are going down. If I were them, I'd change their strategies. Donald Trump's the wrong guy for the job, and we've got to do something about it.
What about the concerns among some in the more moderate wing of the Democratic Party who say, you know, your campaign is harming people like Joe Biden, maybe even Buttigieg now, because you can command a lot of attention?
What I miss? So why am I not as important to this country? I've been an American for longer than Mayor Pete has. I've been an American for longer than Joe Biden has. I have a right to run as well.
Bloomberg spoke just hours after the president delivered his State of the Union speech, touting strong job numbers and a growing economy. Are voters wrong to be relatively pleased with where things are?
In every period in office, there's some good times and bad times, and yes, there are a lot of things that are going right, but there are an awful lot of things going wrong.
Bloomberg went on to say more than any economic statistic, he worries about the message the president's tone and character sends to America's children. And coming up, I asked the question you're probably asking, would he pick Gina Raimondo as his running mate? I'll have that answer new at 6. Ted Nesi, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters. Democratic presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg rallying in Providence today to publicize his first endorsement from a governor, Gina Raimondo.
And Eyewitness News politics editor Ted Nesi was the only local television reporter to speak one-on-one with a former New York City mayor during his visit. Not a real surprise for some people, right, Ted?
Yeah, no, Mike and Shannon, I mean, Mayor Bloomberg and Governor Raimondo have been political allies for quite a while. But this was still interesting because it's an important milestone for the billionaire businessman's campaign. He's seeking to convince Democrats to give him a serious look.
I'm here to announce that I am endorsing Mike for president.
Gina Raimondo becoming the first governor to back Mike Bloomberg for president. Now a campaign co-chair, she defends Bloomberg's unorthodox strategy. He's skipping the early primaries and using his personal fortune to target the later states.
But also, Ted, we have to be unconventional.
I caught up with Raimondo and Bloomberg after their rally.
We have to go toe-to-toe with the president, and if Trump's anything, he's unconventional.
Bloomberg says he's motivated by more than policy disagreements.
But I think it's the tone and it's the character. What are we teaching our children if the president can lie? And the children says, Mommy, Daddy, if the president can do it, why can't I? No.
As for what's next, so the governor's here endorsing you today. Would you consider her as your vice presidential pick if you get the nomination?
I would consider everybody, but let me just tell you, this governor sets a model, I think. I've watched her for years, and I've been very proud to support her, and I think she has a great future in this country, wherever she decides to go.
If he asked, would you accept?
Let's first get him the nomination. Let's first get him the nomination.
And Bloomberg already has a campaign staff in Massachusetts where the presidential primary is coming up on March 3rd. He says he plans to open a Rhode Island office and hire nearly 24 campaign workers here in the coming weeks.
Ted, you said successful presidential candidates usually don't skip what, New Hampshire and Iowa, he's doing that.
Yeah, and it's an unorthodox strategy, a bit of a risky bet, which is why I think a lot of pundits remain skeptical. But Bloomberg is now 4th in the national polls, and he won't lack for resources. He's already spent over $200 million. But when you're worth $60 billion, that's small change.
All right, Ted, thank you very much.